Saturday morning flight sim.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
Good evening, good morning, good day, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. We're doing a tour of Japan, and I've got some good news stories to talk through as well today. I see Nighthawk on the tarmac at the moment. Looks like he's... I don't know what he's flying, actually. What are you flying, Nighthawk? Let us know in the chat. Anyway, yeah, we got a lovely route planned today, and there's a great diary that is posted in the show notes and also in the Discord, so do download it. This is courtesy of our dispatch officer, Dark Fury, who I think is lurking around in the background somewhere. Anyway,
yes, I'm always lurking.
Oh, there you are. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Just, you know, Saturday morning, doing the local shopping for the kids and trying to make the flight.
Absolutely. No, glad you could join us on Vox today, Dark. Nighthawk says, oh, you're in the Twin Otter. Oh, okay, I don't have that downloaded. I think I could still download it. I'll have to check. But yeah, Twin Otter, of course, sad to say, was pulled from all marketplaces by Aerosoft. We never heard any more about it, unfortunately, and I don't know if they're ever going to see that return. It's a real shame, because we could definitely use a Twin Otter. At any rate, I am flying the Just Flight, courtesy of our good friends at Just Flight, the Piper Aero 4 Turbo in the Skyleaf livery, which we absolutely love, and we've got a great tour today, so I will take you through that. Let me just get up the old flight plan here. So we're taking off from Oshima, which is an island just south of Tokyo, and we're going to head kind of northwesterly direction to hit the mainland, and we're going to do a great, lovely circle. I think this is Dark. This is Mount Fuji, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, that is a lovely unconventional circle around Mount Fuji.
Yeah. So that's, and I've flown around Mount Fuji before. I've done it with my daughter actually, because she's an avid flight simmer when she's in the mood. She's 15 years old now, so sometimes she's got a lot of distractions in her life, but she still loves simming, and she's actually quite confident at the Aero, which is pretty cool. So we're good. Yeah. So we're gonna do a circle around here. We're gonna land in Gotemba, which is our first stop, and then take off towards Tokyo, I believe, or Metropolitan Tokyo anyway. We're going to head north, and we'll make a stop at Yokota, and then we're going to make a sharp turn to the east-southeast as we do a nice tour around the city of Tokyo, and eventually, well, actually it's a big tour, it's hard to make out where the flight plan goes. Yeah, so we're going to do a big circle around Tokyo, taking all the city sites, eventually coming into, I believe that is Haneda International Airport. We don't have any scenery for this, apart from what comes with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but rest assured, it's going to be fantastic scenery, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Dan says, very good to hear Dark again. Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to have Dark again. So we will jump into the cockpit. See if I can remember how to fly this thing. Now, I am flying with real weather at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. And if it starts to become a bit of an issue, then we can switch to clear skies. But for the moment, I think we'll stick with real weather. It is a very overcast day here, but sometimes that can be quite cool to see with the weather as a backdrop to Mount Fuji. So I'm kind of inclined to leave it on just at the moment. So we'll bring up our props and mixture to full. Our fuel pumps are already on. A little bit of throttle. Bring the plane to life. Waiting for those, maybe a bit more fuel. There we go, come on. There we go, it's just springing to life now. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we've got everything programmed into our GPS as well. Flight plan up there as well. It's all custom waypoints, and it's a great flight plan, Dark. I think this is going to be really good to go through.
It's interesting because the one airport that we've got currently that's on Orbix. Rest is all done by the world updates. And using Google Maps and stuff like that to plan this route. Yes, it looks like that's been chewed off, but
yeah,
we do go over some interesting interest points, because you've got the Mount Fuji, which we circle around. We've got the Hokkano Open Air Museum. We've got a couple of shrines to go over, castle ruins, Great Falls. In Palace, we go near the towers, we go over Tokyo Disneyland.
And that all comes stock with Microsoft Flight Simulator's Japan update.
It's not the greatest, but it'll do. It'll do.
It'll do. We'll see. We shall see things. Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm going to release parking brakes here, and we'll just... I love how the tiller works on this now. Well, it used to, anyway. Could be the wind pushing us, so yeah, we definitely got some sort of wind here. Oh, there's the tillers working now. I'm really struggling to figure out how to get the heading to work on this, though. That's the only strange thing.
I don't know. I've just updated mine, and now my flight sim mode.
Oh, really? Everybody's having a problem. I know Nick said that he had to do a complete reinstall, which is a bit crazy.
It looks like I'm heading that way, because
yeah, I just had an update, I know that. Actually, I might put a bit of pitot heat in as well. So I think, based on the way the wind's going, we're going to have to so the plane is steering very strangely at the moment. I'm not sure why. Can we get down to this runway from here? I'm not sure if we can, actually. Nick says, yep, morning, all reinstalled, another, a lot smoother now. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, I don't know where we're going, but we're just going to keep plugging away. I think I either missed the taxiway or should have backtracked, but... yeah, the wind is really pushing us. 18 knot wind, so actually it comes as no surprise that we're getting shoved around a bit. Update was the new air rack. Ah, right, okay. Well, see, that doesn't really matter to me because I've got Navigraph overrides for that. Which, to be fair, I didn't run today, but it's okay because we're doing a VFR flight plan anyway.
Funny you should mention that because you actually need a Zobo to update their air rack regularly with the current cycle on nearest turn for Navigraph to work properly.
Really? I didn't know that.
Because in the sim, if the air rack's not up to date and it has been disabled, you cannot use. Madrid's quite a good one, and Barcelona. If they haven't updated the runway headings and the data in the air rack, even if you have Navigraph, it still won't pick it up correctly because it's actually disabled in the sim.
Well, that's something I didn't know. Now, we could be on a road to nowhere here, but I'm going to see if we can cut over to the runway at some point. No, I didn't realize it had that dependency. I just thought that Navigraph kind of just overwrote what was already there. But
it does, and it adds. But if it's disabled in the sim because of an air rack mismatch and data information mismatch,
I see. Right, I got you.
Navigraph won't input it in properly.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna do a bit of mowing on the grass here to get over to the runway.
Have you been taking lessons off a Jayhawk?
I have, yeah. And I think this is going to be a challenging takeoff. We may have to, we'll see how it goes. I've been taking lessons from Dark, says Dan. Okay. Well, I can see a 787 out there somewhere. That's an interesting airplane to see at Oshima. Okay, let's just get our bearings, see if is Nighthawk. Yep, he's right behind us. He's been following us the whole way. Good lad. So it's just the two of us a moment. If you're just joining, you still got time to join, and you can either join us from here or meet us at the next airport, which is Romeo Juliet Golf Oscar. Excused 44 knot crosswind in Vega. Oh wow! I mean, yeah. Is that even safe?
No, that's legal. That was illegal. The visibility was less than 500 meters.
Oh
wind
wow!
Was,
yeah.
44 knot crosswind. Yeah, let's just put it this way: that aircraft would survive.
Okay, so definitely correcting for crosswind here. Although it's... Ooh. Up we go. From a rudder, I seem to be correcting the opposite direction of what the wind's saying in the GPS, which is a bit strange, but never mind. Let's bring up the gear. It should make for some interesting landings today, I think. But we like a challenge, don't we, Dart?
Oh yes, we have got a nice challenge coming up very shortly. In a few weeks.
Put flaps up. That sounds scary. Is this an airliner challenge, is it?
Well, I can't really say. It's going to be a surprise.
Okay. Right, so I think probably what we're going to do is just we'll get up to about 2,000 feet and hold it there because we're going to start hitting clouds. Actually, might even go 1,500. I think that might be a safer bet at the moment. We got our autopilot engaged. 1500 looks good. Level out the aircraft. Now, let's see if I can get heading mode to work, because I'm not sure if this works or not. Mind you, it's in GPS mode, so that could be why. I think possibly the GPS route overrides it. No, it's working today. Okay. Okay, let's see if it'll connect with the GPS then. We'll do an intercept course for the GPS route and see if... I think this might click on automatically, actually. Okay. Bring the throttle down a bit. Overboost lights off, so that's good. The plane's quite happy with the throttle setting we've set. Oh, I've got the... So yeah, we're just keeping on a little bit an eye on this guy. If he flips over automatically to nav, then we know it's intercepted the GPS. And we got a selection of Japanese theme music today, Dark, which I furiously found and downloaded about 40 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, it's not Japanese, I think, good, is it?
Nah, it's kind of like you know, that it's got that kind of Japanese Oriental theme to it. So we'll see what happens, if people like it or not. But yeah, look at checking out. You can see the train starting to climb up in the distance there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that because we don't want to hit anything. Oh, we got vlog belts. We got to put that in the GPS. That's the big difference there. Might let us switch to nav now. Yeah, it will. Okay, there we go. So that's the thing to watch. Change that. Hit that CDI button. Get in the GPS mode. Look at all that water down there. I love how the water looks in Flight Simulator. It's so amazing. It just looks so alive. See Nighthawk up behind us. Nighthawk, are you struggling to keep up? Do I need to slow down? Let me know. I'm currently maintaining about 130 knots, so hopefully that's it's achievable. Let's see a few other aircraft out there, which is always interesting. You know, I always find it fascinating, being on North Europe server, that you still tend to see people all around the world. Is really interesting. You'd think that you'd have to be on like a Southern Hemisphere server to see anybody. So Dark, what's new with you then? Anything interesting happening apart from your Flight Simulator slowing to a halt?
No, 3D printing.
3D printing, all right.
Designing some liveries.
Ooh.
And working on an airport, I guess, in between work, kids, family, you know.
Very cool.
And yourself?
Oh, very cool. And we got some good news stories today as well, courtesy of our post-production officer Dan. So we're going to bring those up. Plus, I found an editorial which I'm going to talk about, which has a personal connection. You might find it interesting. So bring that up in a bit.
Speaking of our background editorial guy, where is he?
Yeah, I know. He's always lurking in the background somewhere. Nighthawk says, I can do 160 knots, okay, and maintain stable flight. After that, the twin starts shaking bad. Yeah, fair enough. So it should give you... oh, there you are. Yeah, Nighthawk's closing in nicely. And we're coming up to the coastline now. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I love Japan. It's got such varied scenery in it, actually.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because we've just got that in the Rex Advanced seasons. So that'll be really interesting to see how that changes.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's I haven't updated that to. Well, I've got it updated to autumn, I think, but obviously the southern hemisphere's a bit different. So yeah, we'll see what kind of behavior it gives us. Dan says me. Anyway, well, we might as well go into our first news story. So let's go pull that up. What's going on there? Yeah, so the first one here I want to talk about, beyond ATC. Now, I'm kind of two minds about this. This is a AI-driven, kind of computer-generated AI that pretty much overtakes what's currently in stock in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's supposed to be a lot more sophisticated. It's got a lot of people excited. Now, personally, I wouldn't use anything like this. But there's definitely a lot of people that I've talked to that seem to have share a lot of enthusiasm for this product. The interesting thing that's come out is that Beyond ATC is now working closely with FSLTL. So this is the dark. Am I right? This is the free package you get out of the fly-by-wire downloader. And they are now implementing it so the Beyond ATC will not only talk to you but also talk to the AI driven aircraft in Flight Simulator. So it feels like you're operating in a living world with ATC speaking to all the different airplanes, and I believe the airplanes will talk back to the AI airplanes. So that's going to be really interesting because that doesn't exist in Flight Simulator at the moment. So I think from an immersion perspective, that's pretty exciting. Dan says, I do and don't like Beyond ATC. I like the concept of it, but the robotics invoices, yeah, I think it's that's a thing with some AI, but it's interesting because we know that there is AI out there that sounds really close to human voices. So it'll be interesting if they're able to bring that in. And I suspect, in 10 years' time, AI-driven voices will probably become almost indiscernible from actual human voices. That's how fast it's moving. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. Next story we got is Flight Sim Studio has now put out an update for their E-Jets. So this is another semi-controversial add-on for Flight Simulator. Obviously, the Embraer 175 and the 190 are very popular jets in the world. They're well used in Europe as well. I've flown on one recently down to London, courtesy of British Airways City Hopper. So, it's they're real lovely jets, and it would be really cool to see an accurate simulation. Now, when Flight Sim Studio brought out the E-Jet expansion, there was just check where we are at the moment. I'm not going to hit anything. Sorry, where was I talking about? Yeah, when they brought out this product, a lot of people didn't like it, and there's a lot of things that didn't work. So, but it looks like Flight Sim Studios is working to try and continuously improve that product, which is good. So, I mean, fair enough. If you bring something out, it's not the greatest product in the world, and people tell you, but you do something with that feedback, and you actually try to improve your product. More power to you, and I hope they get the airplane to a point where people can say, this is something I could fly in VATSIM, or this is something that I feel is authentic enough to give myself a good experience. That's where we want to go, because nobody else is really doing the E-Jets right now, so we want to see it do well. So that's pretty cool. So I'll leave it there just for the moment, and I've got another news story, an editorial that I want to talk about once we get into some free flight where we're not having to worry about hitting anything. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the altitude and the terrain at the moment.
I've got a new story for you.
Go for it.
Editorial missed the A330 Aerosoft.
Yep.
So they've posted on their website and the development blog about their weather textures, how it reduces in weather. They've done a dev shop, but you can now vote on a list of liveries that you would like to see as official liveries when it releases.
All right, very cool, very cool.
You want to get yourself off the Aerosoft website and choose your liveries.
It's funny, you know, and there's one livery I'd probably say, even though I've got a love-hate relationship with the airline, but sorry, my train is looking a bit dodgy. I'm just going to see. Sorry about this, Nighthawk. I'm just trying to figure out why everything's looking a bit rough here. I don't know. Strange. It's just that I don't usually get a bit more detail than that, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. Possibly it's not buffering now. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, so airline that should be in there. I mean, if you're talking about the Airbus 330, Air Transat has got to be in there. Air Transat is one of the largest airlines that utilize the Airbus 330 on a regular basis, and they fly transatlantic routes between Canada and Europe, as well as you know, some flights down to the Caribbean, etc. So, and that's something I don't see. I don't believe that livery is available, you know, as stock for the Headwind at the moment. I'm just going to go to manual because we're just getting a little bit too close to that mountain. So let's get ourselves a little bit of breathing room here. Yeah, the train's not looking as good as it usually is. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, we'll just crack on.
I think Nick actually linked a video about the comparisons between all the different settings and FPSs and the FPS drops.
Yeah, it could be.
You'll be really surprised. You don't need to run Ultra to get decent.
No, I know that. Yeah, I know that, but it should be better than what it is. So something's going a bit funny here, but well. Nighthawk says Porter now flies the new Embraer E-Jets. All right. Oh yes, I think I actually saw that mentioned somewhere. We should be able to get a view of Mount Fuji quite shortly. Okay, I think we can stick that all throw back on, and we'll lock that altitude.
Yeah, Nighthawk. Yep, that's correct. They are in a ball. It has some deliveries to the default. That includes Air Transat, I think Virgin's one, Singapore Airlines, and disgustingly Aeroflot.
Okay, don't know where this airplane's going. Don't know where you're going. It just, my airplane started banking to the right for no reason. Okay, I'm gonna go heading. Well, heading mode was off. I don't know if that had anything to do with that. Getting a good look. That's looking a bit better now. That's looking a bit better. So I don't know, maybe if there was just I got some sort of cache error on that one little bit at the front, I'm not sure. But this is looking more like it. Look at this now, guys. This is nice. Okay, you can see that nav is kicked in automatically. We're desperate to fly us into this mountain, so we're obviously not high enough. We'll gain a bit more altitude.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Yeah, and we're going to need a bit more throttle to do that. And Brett Place is just joining in. 3 people watching this this legend, and let me fix that. Oh, right. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, we're a bit quiet today. I don't know why. Sometimes it just happens. It could be just people are busy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what liveries come out. I'd imagine Air Canada will be on there, because I believe they well utilize the 330.
It's an option card, Air Canada.
Yeah.
The default liveries that come as stock are not.
I think is Delta in there?
Delta's on the pole.
Yep. Alright, I think we're probably at a healthier altitude, so pushing 4,000 now. I am going to drop this weather out, actually, because we're not going to see much if this keeps up. So we'll go to a few clouds.
I'd go to clear.
Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to clear that. Alright, there we go. And we can... Oh, there we go. There's... Because, you know what? That's what we're missing the whole time, is Mount Fuji. I can see Nighthawk's well up ahead of me in the moment. Just bring that plane down. We'll take it down to about maybe 35 inches in the manifold there. Brett says he shared my stream on Discord. Oh, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated, Brett. I really do appreciate that. Been watching you recently as well. Some of your streams, not live. Been checking you out on YouTube. So yeah, do look up Brett. He does all sorts of different things. I think, Brett, you've been playing Starfield a bit as well, haven't you? Hanger Studios has jumped in. He says, hello, Brett sent me. Hanger, lovely to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do hit the like and subscribe. Join us in Discord as well. And Sids is there. He says, hey, Willy, what's up? What's up? How you doing, Sids? Hope you're doing well. Dan says, Captain Relish usually makes an appearance. I see he's probably too busy pulling a GTR Grand Theft Relish. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's just get a look at that view. I mean, I love... Can you imagine, Dark, living in that town below, and, you know, waking up in the morning and just looking into that view every day? Absolutely incredible.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. William Kelly, he's jumped in. G'day, Brett Plays, he says, in Hanger Studios. How you doing, William? How you doing? Great to see you. Nighthawk's, he's getting the jump on me now. He's way up there. And guys, if you're free to join, please do join us. The route's up above. We are currently inbound to Romeo Juliet Golf Oscar. So if you feel it's too late to join us in the skies, you can meet us up at that airport and continue on the route with us. We've just started out. Brett says, yeah, I was doing multiple stream a week on Starfield, but limiting it to one a week now. I just sat down now to play some more. And your streaming company, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll tell you, these mountains are trying to kill us. We'll keep a close eye on it. Hanger Stu says, Canuck, huh? Do I have a plane for you? Oh, right. What plane is that? So once we get free of these mountains, which is going to be a bit, I'm going to talk about a really interesting story, which is kind of spawned by an editorial that I saw on FS News. And I've got, there's a personal connection for me. So hopefully you guys will find it interesting. And just giving you a little bit of background about what happened to flight simulators after the events of 9/11, and it will surprise you. And specifically, this happened in North America. All right, I'm just going to take it off autopilot just for a little bit. We'll coax that airplane up a little bit higher. Look at that, guys! Wow, absolutely amazing.
Some interesting facts about Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
It's actually still a active stratovolcano.
That I didn't know. I thought it was dormant. I knew it was volcano.
It's still active. It's not classed as dormant, but they class it as active because it erupted within the last 300 years.
Oh, right. So is that how they qualify it? See. But I guess it's one of these things, you know, it could suddenly become active again at any moment. And they do, I think, from a geology standard, they do have some warnings if a volcano starting to... Well timed, look at that.
I think it's 12,400 feet elevation, and it's
Massive.
one of the 3 holy mountains that Japan classes.
Yeah, look at that town there. Wow. Talk about being built on a hill. That must be, if you get some snow around there in their wintertime, that must be a little bit challenging. So, Hangar Studios, you're tempting me about this airplane. What is it? You've got me my interest peaked now. I want to know. Look at that, though. Absolutely surrounded by scenery. Great view off the wing there. And I'll tell you, even with clear skies, the terrain is still giving us a good buffet with air currents. Let's see if we can get this back on track.
Some great views of the lake coming up soon as well.
I just love, I mean, there's mountains everywhere. When you think Mount Fuji, you almost think it's like one of these things in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing else to look at. But the terrain that surrounds Mount Fuji is actually quite impressive. Lemon Wolf says, Konnichiwa. Hello, Lemon Wolf, how are you doing today? Brett says, Hangar Studios 713 is the legend behind, is it the Navions? Oh, right. Well, so we've got airplane royalty in the house then. Welcome, Hangar Studios. Maybe if you can, I don't know if you can find a link to that on the web dark somewhere, or maybe Dan, maybe I can give that job to you. Could you find a link to the Navion and post it in Discord for us so we can do a little bit of promotion for Hangar Studios? Hangar Studios says Ryan Navion, model a B Super 260, 1947. Vintage plane turned new with modern avionics and a ton of clickable features. The livery I mentioned is from a flight team that flies Navions in formation. Wow, that is really cool. That's really cool. Hopefully, actually, what you could do, Hangar Studios, if you join our Discord, post a link in the pub, and one of our mods will post it up on the chat for you. Whatever you want to link to, if it's the livery or the airplane itself. Look at this. Wow. Love it. Yeah, it must be paradise living around here, I think. That's quite an impressive city. I don't know if you know what city that is, Dark, do you?
That is Fuji.
Well done. It's big. It's population-wise, I'd say about maybe 400,000. And it's actually, you can see the urbanization actually runs all the way around there. That's quite interesting.
I do apologise to our Japanese friends for mispronouncing names.
Indeed. Indeed. Right, I think the airplane wants to turn at some point. I might shortcut this.
I wouldn't shortcut if I were you.
Yeah, I'm going to. Because I don't want to hit the hot side of a mountain. Although it's giving us some spectacular scenery along the way. Dan says the only Japanese friend we have is Eastbirds. Is he Japanese? Look at that. Fantastic. So yeah, we'll just do a quick shortcut over the triangle here, and then we'll rejoin the flight plan on GPS.
Look out for the falls by waypoint 4, I think it is.
Okay. Waypoint 4, yeah, okay.
Because
Keep
we've
an eye
got,
out for that.
because we've got waypoint 4, we've got Mount Kenishi, and
Right.
then just after that we have the Jinba Falls, and
Uh-huh.
then we have the Chirurito Waterfall.
Ooh, and that's all in the sim.
It should be, yes.
Okay, well, keep an eye out for it. Dan says, oh no, he's not Japanese, he's just very interested in Japan. Okay, fair enough. Nighthawk says, for me, Mount Fuji keeps hiding behind clouds. Yeah, that's why I turned the weather off. Nighthawk, because although it was immersive and real, we weren't really seeing much of anything. So we know the mountain's there, but we couldn't see it. So that's why I turned it on to clear skies at Dark Suggestion. Just all the water, the lakes around here as well is really cool.
It must be really daunting for people, you know, seeing that big mountain in back, thinking at any time it could go. Then you look at the sea
Yeah,
and think, oh,
yeah, I know.
that's-
It's a funny thing though about volcanoes. They tend to be surrounded by populations because the soil is so fertile because of all the ash and the basically the molten lava, and that kind of creates these fantastic conditions for growing anything really. So that's why humans always tend to surround dangerous things. There's usually a benefit to it. Okay, is it going to let us switch to? Oh, there it goes. Rejoining the flight plan. Hopefully. Perhaps. Maybe not. We're going to have to shortcut again here. Every time we get to a turn on the flight plan, there's a mountain right in front of me. Okay, now you did say waypoint 4 there was some sort of waterfall. So we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yes, yeah, waypoint 4, just after waypoint 4, when you make the turn.
Okay, we've cleared the train there, so I think we can. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I spoke too soon. Don't go there. Go over here. Hanger says, LinkedIn shared, I sent you a picture of the livery I was talking about. Cool. Or should I say, wait. All kidding. Aside, my grandfather was from Montreal. Oh, very good. So he was a Quebecer. And whereabouts do you live, Hanger Studios? Where do you call home today? Nick says it'll be available this coming Thursday for both Xbox and PC through the official marketplace, but it's currently available for PC. So what's that? What's available? I must have missed a detail there. You know what he's talking about, Dark? Or is it the Navion? Navion,
I think. I'm just looking at the website right
yeah,
now.
I think he is, because he says through SimMarket and flightsim.to you can see more about the Navion B and other payware and freeware on my website, right? So he's quoted something there. Hanger Studio 713. Nick, thank you very much for posting that. Perfect. Pittsburgh. I've been through Pittsburgh. I've driven through Pittsburgh anyway. And I've landed in... Did I land in Pittsburgh? I've landed in Pittsburgh Airport as well. I was connecting flight from Hamilton to Pittsburgh and then connecting to St. Louis. That was US Air at the time. First time I was ever on a Saab 340, which is a lovely little airplane to fly on. Did we miss the waterfall? I'm not sure if we... Where am I looking? I probably... we passed it. Might have passed it.
I believe we should be coming up, but I don't think you've actually passed it.
Okay, keep an eye out. It's all the different mountain ranges. You got one right in the front of us, one behind that, and then another one further on. Very impressive. Absolutely beautiful scenery. Hangar Studio says, I just found out yesterday they are redoing the airport terminal at Kilo Papa, or so this is Pittsburgh, yeah. I was a flight attendant for US Airways for 5 years. Oh, right, okay. Did you ever work on the Sub 340s? It was a funny story from the Sub 340. I've told this before, but when we boarded the airplane in Hamilton, there was a rather, shall we say, well-fed gentleman sitting in first class. He was wearing a suit, but he was quite a big guy, and he was right in the front row. Obviously, he paid a little bit of extra than the rest of us for his ticket. And just before takeoff, the flight attendant came out, spoke to him, and said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to ask you to move to row 14, which was over the wheels." And when he inquired as to why he had to give up his first class seat that he paid for, the answer was quite short. It was because if you don't, we won't take off. Like literally will not be able to take off. And I always thought that was hilarious, because obviously with the Sub 340 being a small airplane, is far more affected by center of gravity being moved forward by passenger weight. So there you go. And he was a big guy. I mean, I'm not really conveying how large this fellow was, but yeah, there you go. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I'm sure that, you know, the flight attendant, I could tell the flight attendant was kind of enjoying herself when she was saying this. So anyway, there you go. Not that we, you know, everyone's entitled to their body weight, but sometimes it does become a bit of a problem, and it causes practical issues for pilots. And if it's the case, they got to tell you. Here you go. Look at that! Absolutely stunning. Hangar Steve says, no, I was mainline F100. All right, DC9s, cool. MD80s, I loved flying on the MD80. Loved flying on the MD80. There's just something about the MD80. You ever been on a Mad Dog, Dart?
Yes, I've been on a Mad Dog once.
It feels different than any other passenger airliner I've ever been on. It just feels like flight, because and then the engines are at the back. It's got lots of power. It just seems to glide somehow. I don't know. I found a different feeling than in other airplanes. But quite a few airplanes that Hangar Studios has been on. So 737, yeah. I was on the US Airways 737 and a Mad Dog. 757, the Cadillac of the Skies. Love that airplane. Used to fly that transatlantic between Canada and Britain quite a lot. 767, cool. And Airbus 319, here we go. 320, 321, 330, the whole family. And you were rated for them all. Wow. That's a lot of things to remember. A lot of things to remember. And you also did international for a year. Okay, so if you did international, what would you say was the most interesting place that you were able to visit through your duties on US Airways Hangar? That's an interesting thing. Maybe, and if it's hard to pick one, maybe give me the top two or top three. Dan says, not sure if it's the same thing, but don't forget the MD-11 is coming. Yes. Yeah. So there has been an announcement in that the MD-11 is coming in October, isn't it? I'm just checking that we're still on flight plan. We are. So we do our, it might be our final circle. We got two more turns, guys. And then our first landing at Romeo Juliet Golf Oscar. So what I'll do is I think we'll fly the last two turns. We'll land at the first airport, and then I'll tell you about my 9/11 story. Very quick one. after everyone regroups. And please, guys, if you're willing or able to fly with us, we're on the North Europe server. Please do gather at Romeo Juliet Golf Oscar, and we'll regroup there and take off and continue the rest of the route. Hangar Studio says top 3. So this is top 3. London. Okay. Yeah, I go to London quite regularly. I just flew to London for business last week. So Frankfurt. Now Frankfurt's a place I'd always want to visit. And Paris. Oh, very interesting. So pretty much the major capitals in Europe, I would say, excluding Amsterdam, of course. Those were my 3 when I did international, but that doesn't count all the South American countries I visited. US Airways was limited to their travel, not like American. Yeah, fair enough. Here we go, back to the coastline, back to the water. Such a range of scenery there. Looks like there's not a bad beach down there as well. Did you bring your swimsuit, Dart?
No, I brought some parachuters and rubber dinghies. Mind you, being around here, I think I might more need a hazmat suit.
There's a screenshot for you. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Have we lost track of Nighthawk? Where is he? Oh, there's Nighthawk. There's definitely a few airplanes around here anyway. Oh, Dark, you're in the air. I didn't notice you.
Yeah, I've been stalking you for the last hour.
What are you flying? Oh, you're flying the Arrow. Okay. Let me check my speed. I can slow down a bit. Get back down to 30 manifold. So aiming for about 130 knots. That's what I'm flying on. Hangar Studio says those were. Oh, sorry. 9/11. I was a flight attendant during that time. Very scary times. Yeah. After 9/11, I was able to hold the line as an international flight attendant because so many quit and retired. Really? Well, you know, I think it was a very shocking thing, and especially for anybody in the aviation industry. It was probably a bit of a wake-up call on you know, the worst that could happen, and I think a lot of people are quite terrified at that point. And of course, you know, when you're in the aviation industry, it's a small community. You tend to know people, even from different airlines, and I'm sure quite a few people knew the victims of the incident. So, you know, it is unfortunate. A horrible, horrible tragedy. And of course, hopefully, God bless, we'll never see that happen again. I know there's a lot more precautions now. The unfortunate downside of that is you're unable, in general terms, to visit cockpits while they're in their air now. They're pretty much locked up tight to prevent further tragedies. So it really changed air travel for aviation lovers because they're not able to go up and talk to the pilot like they used to. You know, it's such a shame. Yeah, Dan says I don't blame anyone for quitting after it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, come up to our final turn at waypoint 8, and then up north we will connect with and look for, can't remember what this airport was called, Gatemba. Doesn't sound Japanese, doesn't it? It sounds more African. So I think, looks like we'll be turning just before that range, if I'm looking at the plane correctly. But imagine Gatemba's probably up there somewhere, just around that pocket. Very cool. It'll be interesting to know how. Who's it? Who our good friend that's building a home cockpit? Dark. Who is it?
Mr. Steve, Relic.
Steve, yeah, Relic, that's right. Yeah, I haven't seen any more from his cockpit build yet.
It looks awesome.
It does look cool. It was just a roughing out that I saw initially, but wow, looks quite crazy. Hanger Stew says, yeah, they locked and Kevlar'd the doors after 9/11. Yeah, I think some doors are titanium now as well. Everything changed with the procedures. My father was an overhaul heavy maintenance mechanic and retrofitted the doors among other things. Yeah. Dan says, I remember many moons ago when I was 3 or 4. I think my American family came to England. We could move freely around Gatwick Airport and go up to the gates and everything, even had a viewing platform. That's right, and Gatwick actually had a very good viewing platform, which is gone. It's still amazing that when we went to Manchester that you're still able to get a really good look at the airplanes, because a lot of places, and Toronto International being one of them, it didn't have a viewing platform per se, but it had a multi-story car part which was open at the top, so you could go right to the top and get a 360 view of the airport. But that was closed shortly after 9/11 for security reasons. And it was just, I think the imagination ran wild with security analysts thinking of all the bad things that could happen, and they just wanted to do everything they could to protect the airplanes. And unfortunately, that's just, it's never, I don't think it'll ever go back. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. It's the world we live in now. It changed the world. It was very significant. Okay.
Well, there's a main problem between like the UK, I would say, and America. There's a lot more things can happen to America than they can in the UK. So they're honestly like going ODD.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think UK security is. UK is very good, very clever at hiding a lot of the security that exists. A lot of it's very invisible, and you don't even know it's there. But if you were to try something dodgy, you would soon find out. But I mean, America. One of the things I was amazed at, and this was just before 9/11. I think it's before or after before 9/11, I believe. When I flew down to St. Louis, like the baggage reclaim was outside the airport. Like the bags would just come out. It obviously depended on the airport. I think that was St. Louis, but yeah, the bags would just show up on a carousel, literally out the front door of the airport. It was right in the general public, and I always thought that was crazy. And like, of course, in a lot of cases, the baggage drop was outside the airport as well. It was obviously for speed, but I always found that really strange because I never saw that anywhere else. Okay, I think we probably want to start losing some altitude and speed here, so I'm going to just bring the throttles back, and we'll keep an eye out for Temba. It should just be coming up off her nose to the starboard side there. Don't see anything yet. Hanger Stu says 9/11 is the reason why there's such a long pause of flight simulation. Yes. To be honest, I haven't used the simulator since Combat Flight Simulator 2. Oh, that's going back. I saw this one and it made me want to develop for them. Now I'm a partner. Excellent. Yeah, I'm with you. I was I did use them for a while up till Flight Simulator 10, but actually after Flight Simulator 10. My PC at the time just completely fried, and I couldn't afford to replace it, and I kind of gave up and lost interest because obviously FSX was the last one. Is that the airport? Looks like it could be the airport. So we'll do a left circuit. Let's get a good look at it first. Yeah, that looks like an airport to me. Okay, so we're going to enter into a left-hand circuit.
Just watch out for the golf balls.
Yeah. Is there a golf course around there? Can't see.
Yep, just in front of the airport on the approach, there's an 18-hole golf course.
That's good planning. How strange.
Positive rate, gear up. Oh no, there's a golf ball.
Okay, here we go. Bleed off that speed now. Bring down first notch of flaps. A little bit of an increased drag. Get mixture and props to full. And let's get that boost pump on as well. Drop the gear. Get too low, maintain altitude. Oh, lost the runway. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? So I should have taken a heading marker. Completely disoriented. Where's the runway gone? Probably overturned. Or I'm flying over it. This is what can happen in real life, folks. This is why I should have taken a heading marker there. Alright, so we need to find that airport again. Where is it gone? We're already slowed down. We'll just leave the gear extended. And I mean, it's funny enough when in the sim, but this happens in real life. When you're flying VFR, people will actually just lose where they are. And there's all sorts of, that's one of the main things with training. We got a stall warning there, so let's bring up our... Okay, come on. William Kelly says, oh no, he was asking a question. I'll check that in a minute. I have completely lost the runway. Where's it gone? Right, we might have to go external. Alright. Let's try the next thing. Let's zero in on the GPS there. Okay, it says it should be off to our right. It should be off to our right, so let's keep an eye out for it. It's been a while since I lost the runway on stream before.
Well, that was very...
Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. I see it. It's not a very big runway, but still. Thank God for computer technology, eh? I think we'll bring out our full flaps, get us a bit of drag so we don't get too quick as we can drop the altitude. There it is. There we go. Okay, that's a bit better. Nighthawk's slipping in underneath me as well, so it might be a formation landing here. Well, I think I'm going to overtake him. Slowing down, slowing down. Look at that. That's actually pretty cool. It's great to see Nighthawk come in like that. Get that center line. A little bit of throttle. Don't want to drop too much. Here we go. $136. That's not bad. Sorry, Nighthawk. I'm going to have to go through you here. There we go. See some airplanes down here. Landing with style. That's it. And right still in the basking in the glory of Mount Fuji in the background. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to pull off the runway for a second. We'll talk about 9/11. So I've got a short story, but Dark, you'll find this interesting, I think. So this is an offshoot story of 9/11 I'm going to talk about. So I'm just going to park up here for a sec. Right. Okay. Here we go. Let me just prep myself. So, okay. So if you go to FS News, big shout out to them. They make do some really good news stories. There's a great editorial that I just picked up when I was looking at the news clips that Dan put up for us, and this is a guy talking about what happened with Flight Simulator and how it related to the events of 9/11, etc. A lot of things changed. So Laminar, for instance, was going to bring in X-Plane 6, scheduled to come out the 17th. The company had added a statement that there will be no fanfare or hype associated with this release, but they're still releasing it. Terminal Reality, makers of the Fly series, would condemn the attacks. Microsoft delayed the release of 2002, which had been originally scheduled for October, but a few weeks out of respect for the victims, the game would come out on the 19th. They'd also remove the Twin Towers from the new sim, I do remember this, and release a downloadable patch, which removed them from Microsoft Simulator 2000. That's how big a deal it was. The patch would also remove one unfortunate, in hindsight, joke from the game's introduction video. And they were talking about flight simulator instructors, John King, jokingly crashed an airplane on the sim into the Twin Towers, never ever thinking that we'd actually see this in real life. And that was a feature that was actually taken out in the end. So there was a huge impact. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of stories. Now I have one, and Dark, I don't know if you'll recall it. Are you still with me, Dark, by the way? I'm not sure if you're still online or not. Well, it looks like we probably lost Dark. Okay. Anyway, I'll carry on. So one of the things that happened with 9/11 was that travelers started getting scrutinized for having anything aviation related on them unless they were operating in an official capacity in aviation. And I got an example here, which I've kept. It's about over 20 years old now. Over 20 years old. 22 years old, which I'm going to show you. So one fellow in particular, I think it was in the United States, had this in his luggage. He was a flight simulator. Now you think what it is. I'll give you a close look. This is the Level D simulation. Everyone remembers the flight simulator. It was for Flight Simulator 2004. It was the Level D 767, which was formerly developed from Pilot and Command 767. This book, this is the operations manual. It's a hard copy. There's a digital copy available, but you could buy this hard copy, and I bought it, and I'll tell you the reason. If you look very closely, I don't know how well this is going to translate in camera, but we'll try. You may be able to see it, maybe not, but this was co-written by Daryl Shuttleworth and Bill Van Coller. And it's absolutely enormous. It's got all sorts of checklists and everything like that. I credit most of my knowledge on Boeing systems, particularly the 75 and 767 Common Cockpit, because of this manual. Someone was actually arrested and detained in an airport for having this on them, and the reason was because the terrorists that flew into 9/11 partially credited the fact that they had simulation experience on those airplanes. Now, there's some dispute about that, whether they actually meant computer flight simulators, which I suspect they probably did, or actual flight simulators, because some of them were actually training pilots. And either way, there was a connection to flight simulation, and this got a lot of people in a panic. So when and of course one of the airplanes that flew in, or both the airplanes rather, there was a 757 and a 767. This book tells you how to fly them. It tells you how to fly them. So when they saw people having these, on their luggage, it was getting confiscated. They're getting detained. It was just a bit of a hysteria kind of thing. Hanger Stu says a ton of YouTube videos. I credit the FS2 Discord for the learning curve, and especially Johnson, got friends for getting me hooked. Yeah, for sure. So why is this interesting to me? Right, so, and I have this book because I'm a big fan of 767. It was written by two guys, Bill Van Collar and Daryl Shuttleworth. Well, there they are. Those are the two guys. And how do I know them? How do I know them? And it is one of the most detailed, it is, in fact, the most detailed flight book ever created for a Microsoft Flight Simulator add-on. You tell me anyone else that has come up with something like this, I'll surrender my point. But that is the most detailed. Level D767. It was absolutely meticulously detailed for its time. Dan says, I do recall hearing myself, apparently terrorists had used Microsoft Flight Simulator practice when they did before executed it. Yeah, these two guys wrote the manual. And how do I know them? Well, Daryl Shuttleworth and Bill Van Collar. Bill is an actual pilot. He's got a, I think he's got a commercial license now, but he's only ever done flight instruction. Daryl's not a pilot, but he is an avid simmer. And this was at a charity event back in year 2000. It was 2001, before 9/11, raising money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, I believe it was. He's an avid simmer, and you can see there's the old CH yoke. That'll probably be a blast for the past for some guys. That's a level D767 we got there on the screen there. So why do I have a photo of these guys? Because they're friends of mine, and I was at that event. There's Bill, there's Daryl, there's me. That's Eamon there, Eamon. I can't remember what these other guys were, but they're all great guys. We were there for a full week raising money, doing long haul sims, like a lot of charity flights you see. You get World Flight, things like that. We were flying about the same time. Daryl, you might find familiar. Does anybody recognize this guy? Well, I'll tell you why you might recognize him. Because he has guest starred in Stargate, the TV series. He's also been in Supernatural. He guest starred in Fargo TV series. And he was also in The Watchmen. He's an actor. He's probably the most famous guy that I know personally. There you go. So, and that guy, Daryl's of course from Vancouver. Bill's from near Toronto. Daryl, of course, his number one passion though, he always said to me, I spoke to him, I said, you know, why do you like acting? It must be a really exciting job. And he says, I'll be honest with you, Devin. I said, I'd rather have been a pilot. I love airplanes. And that's why he teamed up with Bill. We all met each other through Canadian Virtual Airlines, and those two guys wrote this book. So there you go. That's my story. He was the dad, I think, the dad in Watchmen. Daryl, yeah. I don't think he's in the movie very long. So there you go. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really. I watched the film once, but I can't remember any details about it. There you go. Anyway, so that's my big story. What'd you think of that, Dark? You still with me?
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Thank you.
But it's like Dan says, in regards to that manual,
yeah.
They apparently heard that the terrorists used flight sim or simulations for like training pilots, all that.
They did.
But is it the 24-hour stream where they fly around the world in the British Airways, and they've got that big 747 cockpit. Yeah, well,
that's one of the World Flight cockpits. Yeah.
Well, apparently they use similar software to that on the flight sim to get the training for the 767s and
yeah, well, I'm gambling. It was either the pilot in command 767 or the level D767 software.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I used as well, and we used it, and that flight manual that I just showed you. I mean, real pilots looked at it when we were doing that event, because we were actually at a hotel just outside of Toronto Airport, and real pilots. We were in the pilots. Or the aviation workers lounge. So this was like where pilots and flight attendants staying in the hotel could go just to get away from the rest of the patrons. And they were really interested in what we were doing. And when one of the 7.6 pilot, I think he was Delta, took a look at that manual, he couldn't believe how detailed it was. He couldn't believe that we had something like that just for a hobby. And he was absolutely blown away by it. And of course, that was, that's 20 years ago, so, things have well moved on since then. Okay, we'll get back on course here. Hanger Studio says, that's awesome, Willie. The most famous person I know is Chelsea Burnett. Sully! Oh, I'd love to meet Sully. I would love to meet Sully, yeah. That's amazing. That's really cool. I was his flight crew for 2 trips. Never forget his briefings were like no other. I can imagine. Absolute hero, that guy. Let's get over the trees at the end here. Bring the gear up. And we'll give ourselves, I think we'll get ourselves up to 4,000. Yeah, Sully, he's one guy I'd love to meet because he did an extraordinary thing. Now, I think a lot of things went right that day. The envelope protection software for the Airbus kicked in at some point to protect the airplane from stalling as he was coming in. They were very light on fuel because they were only flying to South Carolina. Or North Carolina, possibly, I can't remember, or maybe Virginia. But anyway, they were flying somewhere close, so they didn't have that much fuel, which really contributed to the fact that they were able to land in the Hudson. But despite all that, I mean, when you're there at the time, he made the decision that saved everyone's life. But he's an absolute legend. I'd love to meet him. I'm very jealous, Hanger Studios. What's that? Am I flying the wrong way? Alright, let's turn around. I was wondering why the course was getting further and further off. This is how these streams end up becoming 2.5 hours, isn't it?
Well, this flight plan's about an hour and 50 altogether.
Okay. Right. Well, let's push 160 knots then. I think. I'll try to make up some time. Okay, I think that's high enough. Get our heading mode on there, and
so I don't know if you guys noticed in the chat, I did link some content in regards to the
you're dark. I don't know if you can boost your mic a bit. You're very quiet.
I can. It's maxed out, mate. It's maxed.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I interrupted. See what you're saying?
New Bora Bora scenery that's been introduced.
Yeah.
So maybe in the next month or so, we might make a trip in the Beaver or something, or pull up planes, try the new scenery, and do some water landings.
Yes. Yeah. I think that'd be great. I'd love to go back to that area. It's such a beautiful place. Nick says, I have the software they use on World Flight. It's very good. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How much is it now, Nick? The software.
What software is it we're talking about here?
I'm sure one of the guys will be able to post a link or something.
Yeah, okay. I probably know what it is. I just want to make, if it's, it might be the one I'm thinking of, or it might be something else. Hanger Studios says he was a Czech airman for U.S. Airways, and growing up, my neighbor was a Czech airman, and now his oldest son is one. Wow. Those guys know the plane almost better than anyone, and understand what they're capable of. Yeah. Yeah. No idea you got it for free, Nick. Won it on World Freight Stream. Oh, okay. PSX. So is this like a dedicated flight simulator, like a completely different simulator? Or is this like a just intermediary software or something like that? Overboost one in there. So bring that back. Oh, we've got someone in front of us. Is that dark? Must be dark. Yep, there you go. I see it, Dark. Dark's in the new livery, of course. Special red livery for the Arrow, which is available. By the way, if you guys want the liveries, they are available on Discord. On our, there's a liveries channel there, and you can download from there. Or you can still find them on flightsim.to, but I think we might be changing that soon, Dark. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we'll be using mainly the Discord from now on. Due to the fact of changes in terms and conditions within the flightsim.to.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Right, I'm gonna give her all she's got. Just shy of the overboost. There we go. I'm definitely pushing against the wind at the moment. Or something. 349 euros. Woo! Yeah, but it can be integrated into Microsoft Flight Simulator for the visuals. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So it's kind of like a gives you a more accurate movement through the world, I would think. It's more on the calculation side of things. Yeah, there's been so many different pieces of software over the years. I haven't paid much attention to what the current kind of home cockpit guys use now, but I'm sure things have moved on quite a bit. Although FSU IPC has still stood the test of time, which is I always found very interesting. I take it we're going to have to try and fly over these mountains, Dark.
Oh yes.
Okay. In that case,
that's why it's a long run up, not just a quick down rounding dive. What really interests me with these when you fly over the mountains is how you've got all the little ridges and everything. You've got the buildings tucked away, so you can't actually see them unless you're like really on top of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I might put the high boost on here. Just give us a little bit extra juice. And we'll aim for that gap in the middle. Look at that. So it'll be interesting to see in 2024 when they're going to use AI to do a lot more rendering on things like mountains and cliffs and whatnot, rather than rely on telemetry and satellite data purely. It'll be interesting to see how that works. So it's almost do like an intelligent kind of local design on if it knows that it's a hill or it knows that it's a mountain, it'll do its best to try and draw something that looks like a mountain, rather than just try to slap satellite imagery on it.
Well, they're going to use Apple. Is it a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. It's some kind of foreign object.
That's the other thing. The news, everyone's getting obsessed about UFOs again. It's like going back to the 60s. But I was laughing because there was one, it was a news clip from CBS News in America. And the guy was showing, there was one clip where the military aircraft's trying to track this object. And there was another one where it was a black object in the sky. And as it turned, I could clearly see it was an A-10. It was obvious it was an A-10, and this was declared as one of the UFO footages that I'm like, man, do you guys actually do any of your homework rather than just report, oh look, it's a UFO? It was obviously an A-10. So I don't know what to believe nowadays.
There were one a few years back. There were actually two helicopters following this dot, but then all of a sudden this dot vanished. They tried saying it was an aircraft, but there was nothing on flight radar. There was nothing on radar.
Yeah.
People that were actually recording it, all you could see was like a circle. You couldn't see anything else, and it just disappeared.
Yeah.
But that's the military tried putting it down to an aircraft. It's like, what aircraft is circle? Except for a drone, obviously, of course.
Yeah.
But it was the light was too big to be a drone.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree too that the footage that the F-18 captured off the coast of the United States, it was back in 2013 or something like that, that's compelling as well. Because the pilots have actually gone on the record, they've come on the news and said, you know, this thing was moving really fast, and it started from stationary to Mach 2 in seconds, right? So it's like nothing can do that. So it is compelling. I don't necessarily dismiss UFOs, but I think people do get a bit excited, and some of the things that people are dragging out, there's explanations for it. Because I can see the explanation without anybody telling me the difference. Brett says, I'm sure UFO talk is because they have a few more skunt works doing testing. Yeah, more than likely. That's a good point, actually, because the F-117 caused many reports into the government for strange objects flying. Because obviously nobody had seen anything like the 117, and it looked very weird and was black. You know, so there you go. UFO is pretty much, I mean, by definition, it's something that people just don't know how to identify. So it doesn't actually mean aliens or extraterrestrial. It just means we can't identify it. Okay, just about clear the mountain range. You can see Nighthawk and dark up ahead of me. We're rocking about 153 knots as well, so we're making good speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to our right on waypoint 11, you'll see a Costco.
You actually made me look right there as well. Look at that. Last bit of terrain before we get into the greater Tokyo area.
Somebody actually needs to do a Tokyo mesh and put the actual things in, because some of these stuff that are on here, according to Google Maps and the flight plan, when you look at them, it's just a generic building.
Well, there is a, I didn't download it, I saw it at the last minute, but there is a Tokyo points of interest add-on for Orbix.
Yeah, I've got that one, yeah.
But I haven't downloaded that one, so hopefully it'll be interesting enough with the Japanese update. Well, sometimes it tends to be some of the major cities. Okay, we're slowly coming back down again. I'm going to get that autopilot back on. Turn our boost pump off. And bring it back on course. Heading. There we go. Fly, airplane, fly. Nighthawk says the Japan freeware on flightsim is excellent for airports and scenery. Oh, okay. Maybe post a link in the Discord for us, Nighthawk, and we can go check that out. Just as we start working ever closer to Tokyo, we can see with the urbanization starting to build in now.
I didn't realise how densely compact, you know, the cities are.
Yeah, they are, and the population is nuts. I don't. Do you have any stats on Tokyo? Look it up.
No, Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Palace. I got all the POIs. I just didn't get.
No, it was the no population. Population.
So Tokyo is 5,194 square miles with a population of 38 million as of 2018.
38 million in one city. Holy moly. Wow. What's London if you're lucky? 12? 13? Dark's taking a right close look there. You're really low, aren't you?
Yes, it's only 8 million. 8 million in 50 square miles. 50
what,
square
London?
miles.
Yeah. It's a good question. Where are we going to fly next? Do we know what's coming up?
Yes, we're off to Melbourne next week.
Melbourne? Oh, okay, cool. Is that an airliner flight?
It's the airliner flight, Sydney to Melbourne, and the sceneries are available from Orbex.
Hooray. The Melbourne's the one, that's the newest one, isn't it?
Yes, yep. There is a mesh as well for, I think they do the meshes, the airports, the scenery.
Yeah, there's one for Sydney and Melbourne, I think. If memory recall. It's definitely one for Sydney anyway, so yeah, we'll check that out. And what airliner am I getting stuck with this time?
Well, we're looking for the fly-by-wire or PMDG.
Okay. The PMDG seems to have been the dominant airliner over the last few flights, so I'm hoping to jump back in the fly-by-wire if possible. Not that I'm begging.
I think airliner flights, it doesn't really matter what you fly as long as it's an airliner.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like your props, your ATRs, like your ferry services and stuff like that. So they have their own sections, and airliners, it's just grab an airliner.
Perfect. Well, this airport's presented itself in front of us. That makes it handy. Presuming this will be Yokota. Is that an Air Force base? Okay. Is that where we're meant to be going? Yeah, that's an Air Force base. Interesting. We won't have to look for that airport. I can see it clear as day. I think we'll just do a touch and go on this one, guys. So Nighthawk, and likewise Dark, we'll just do a touch and go, and rather than holding over here.
Yes, I'm sure the guys and girls and everybody else who wants to see Disneyland.
Disneyland, yeah. Digital Flight Deck, he's just come in. Hello, sir. Just saying good morning before heading out. How you doing, Digital? Hope you're doing well. Another fellow I've been watching on Restream, because I'm never around when you're streaming live, but I do try to catch you after the fact. Still pushing the Fenix around, are you, Digital? I think you guys are all creatures of habit. Okay. Airport's getting closer, so we'll start bleeding off that airspeed. Props up. Just pumps on. Digital says I am that, and the PMDG 737. Yeah, we've been doing quite a few flights with the PMDG lately, actually. Oh, I already have one flaps down. Okay. You're down.
Well, you can't miss them.
No, you can't miss these.
Well, there's some power lines just before the runway.
All right, okay. Safe landing, says Digital. Thank you very much, sir. But what I can do is just put it on, once I trim this thing out anyway. I'll put on live weather just to see how bad it is, actually. So the winds were definitely up there. Just to give us a bit of a challenge. Well, it's just everywhere you look, it's just residential buildings, absolutely everywhere.
Well, that was interesting. I landed with main gears down, but the gear's not actually down.
All right.
I landed with no gear.
Oh dear. Drifting over a bit. Drifting over. See if we can grease it even with the winds on us. $145, not too bad. Not too bad. There we go, and we'll take off again. Pops to 1. Airborne. Buzz rate, you're up. Oh, there's Stu. Hi all, hi Willy, hi Stu, how are you doing? Take up to, go 2,000 again. Climb out of can't remember what that airport was called. What was that airport we just landed at again? Japan reminds me a bit of Scotland. I think sometimes when you see the weather with the hills and or the mountains. Go, settle into cruise. See dark up ahead of us. Stu says, miss rolling down the hills? Yeah. There's Nighthawk zooming underneath. Yeah, so what's on for the rest of the day then, Dark? Did you say you're shopping?
Yes, do a bit of shopping, bit of tidying up, housework, clean my printer, and get ready for tomorrow's.
Did you say clean your printer? Oh, because a 3D printer. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And how are you finding? Are you? I know you were doing something aviation related, but have you tried anything else? Just for fun?
A headphone stand.
A headphone stand.
Yeah.
Cool. You gotta take a picture of that, post it in Discord. Put a pic in the pub first. Are you painting it?
It's being painted.
It's been painted. Okay, very cool. So when you paint it, do you just paint that by hand, or?
No. We use high build primer and filler. Then we paint it with acrylic spray,
Right.
and then lacquered on top.
Okay, very cool. You got all the toys. That's the last toy I bought was this. That was 22 years ago, when I had money and no children. All right, I think we might go back to clear skies because it's getting a little bit cloudy here.
To be honest, for what I paid for it, it was worth it. We're doing. We've got some speed brakes being printed off.
Right.
For the TCAs.
Yeah, I know. I know you mentioned that. Yeah.
We've got the flap settings as well, the flat ones, and I'm currently looking into building some motorized 737 parts.
Wow. Very cool. You're a clever kind of guy, aren't you?
Not really.
That's no. No. You're humble as well. That's the problem. Well, you do a fantastic job on your liveries. So you're definitely more talented than I am. I just have to fly the things. Okay, making our turn.
It's like someone said to me the other day. This is not to be dissing anybody or anything like that. I'm not mentioning no names, but I got a message the other day. I saw your liveries and I was wondering if you would do me a livery.
Right.
So I asked which aircraft and which aircraft or what type of livery.
Right.
So he wanted the Phoenix and he wanted this Land Rover, and I says, well, obviously it's a custom livery, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
So he says, yeah, I'm willing to pay.
Okay.
And I charged I think it was like £15 for what he wanted, because it wasn't much, but it was going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, I only thought it was going to be a fiver. I'm like,
a fiver?
You realise that I don't even pay the electric to do that work.
A fiver? Bloody hell. Just a chancer then.
Yep. And then he went on to the Phoenix Discord and asked the same thing, and all the painters on there just went, no.
Stu says at my work we've got a titanium printer. What's a titanium printer? Like prints titanium metal, or it's made of titanium, or is that a brand name, or? It sounds expensive, whatever it is. Right, I'm just gonna, while we're sitting in cruise here, I'm just gonna pop off for a couple seconds to grab a glass of water and be right back. Stay with me, guys.
It prints in titanium. Does it come in a reel then, or is it liquid? Oh, reel. Very nice, but that's an heavy reel.
Okay, I'm back. Seen a couple freezes here and there in the sim. Only momentary, but yeah.
I've noticed them too.
It might be server related though. see some tall buildings off in the distance, presuming that'll be downtown Tokyo.
Nermia City.
Dan! Dan's either generous or bored. He's just donated £2.61. Dan, thank you so much for that. This one's for you, mate. Here we go. Awesome. Dan, thanks so much. I'll go into the stream maintenance pot, keep us running with Epidemic Sound, and as you can tell, we've got all sorts of Japanese-themed tunes today, so hopefully you're enjoying that. Something different for a different part of the world. But thank you very much, Dan. I much appreciate it. Stu says if it was liquid wood, heat it up. So what, Stu, what does one make out of a titanium printer then? What kind of parts are you making? Oh, Dan, no, I didn't see the message. Unfortunately, I can't. It's hard to see with OBS. Let me go. Give me a sec. See if I can find it. That's something I got to do more often. Actually, there's an add-on I can get for OBS which shows me the alert boxes, or not the alert boxes, the donations, tipping. What's the tips? Oh, Dan says, slot this into Dark Fury like a coin slot so it entices him to finish off the Vengabus livery now that the V2 is out. So I think that was directed at you, Dark.
Well, the V2 is partially out, it's not fully out. Which is the thing, because it was been.
What's the V2? Is that the Fenix he's on about?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've done the avionics and stuff, but what they haven't done is release the updated aircraft model and livery textures.
Right.
So there's no point in me doing any work on the 73 and the Phoenix until these are released, which is supposed to be next week, because every work that I've done or do will have to be changed.
Okay, I see.
Work smarter, not harder.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, so we are on our final few legs here as we do. Well, not final actually. We probably get another 15 minutes. They're definitely coming into Tokyo properly now. Stu says parts for cars or buses and planes. Anything you want. Okay. Sounds interesting. Titanium's quite an expensive material to print anything out of, so you must have some wealthy clients. That's all I can say, Stu. Sorry, Dark, what you're going to say?
I think what we can do here is go to the Tokyo Tower if you want, and then go straight ahead to the heliport and Disneyland, then come back round and land, and then come back to the airport. That should be about 15 minutes.
Right, so do you want me to come off course? Is that what you're saying?
No, carry on course until you get to the tower.
Yeah.
And then go straight ahead, cross the heliport. That'll bring you to the Disneyland, and then just do like a 180 and come into the airport.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Rather than do the full loop, yeah. Okay. It's just to save us a bit of time, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just to save us a bit of time.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Brilliant. Yeah, we're kind of...
Realistically, that's what I wanted to do, but I added the extra legs just in case we had that time.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Gives us options. Appreciated. Hangar Studio says, I guess they aren't changing the exterior model, but if they do that, then it would be a different UV map. Yeah, best to wait and see. Yeah, exactly. There's a Japanese Disneyland. Yeah, there is, absolutely. Yeah. It's been there for... be about 20 years now, I would think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something like that now. Interesting to see how many different Disneyland versions there are. Probably be full of Pokemon.
Yeah, well, well, funny enough, the Disneyland Japan, or Tokyo, Disneyland Tokyo, introduced the Tron experience ride. You can see clips of it on YouTube, and I'm a huge Tron fan. And I thought, oh, that looks so amazing, but it was only in Japan, but it was so popular in Japan, and got so many people talking about it that they've actually now brought it to Disney World in Florida. But it was conceived and introduced in Japan first, which is unusual because usually the new rides are always brought in Florida first, or possibly California first before they go anywhere else. So thank you, Japan, for encouraging Disney to build a ride of a theme that I like.
The only thing about Tokyo is it's like Japan. It's like London. Excuse me. It's so heavy and so big that it takes forever to populate the buildings.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just heavy on the scenery, isn't it? Look at that. 38 million people, you said, yeah?
Yep, that's of 2018.
Wow. And I mean, I'm looking down below. I don't see very few buildings that are less than 3 stories.
There should be, you can see that the Tokyo Tower literally stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Is that... That's not that one in the distance, is it? I do see a tower way off in the distance on the just off the left.
Yeah, that'll be it.
So do you want me to fly towards that tower, is that what you're saying?
Yep, fly towards that tower and then straight ahead.
Okay. Alright, let's go to heading mode. Hangar Studio says 1 in each: California, Hong Kong, Paris. Didn't know there was a Disneyland in Paris, actually. Or Hong Kong, I should say. Shanghai and Tokyo. Florida's flagship park is called Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I've been to Magic Kingdom. Been to the Disney World. Tokyo Tower is very red, says Nighthawk. Okay, well, we'll get a look at it. Hopefully the scenery does it justice here. There's something that almost looks akin to Central Park down there, actually. Doesn't it look like Central Park?
It does look a bit, yeah. Just got more buildings.
Yeah, actually there's a few parks now that I look around, and there's a lot of parks, actually. Very pretty. A very small Central Park, yeah. That's the Imperial Palace and Gardens. Oh, okay. Zeroing in on Tokyo Tower. Look at that. Just everywhere you look. Where's our destination? Is it our Romeo Juliet Tango Tango? Isn't it? Right, so we're gonna hit the tower and then fly south, I think. Well, we'll get a good look at that. Look at that. Do we know how tall the tower is, Stark?
2,080 feet.
2,080 feet, right? It's impressive.
Built in 1958.
All right, so predates the CN Tower then.
And it was painted white and orange to comply with safety regulations.
So airplanes don't hit it or fly as close to it like what we're doing. Looks like there's a revolving restaurant in there, and it's got kind of something akin to the Skylab. Very cool. Okay, let me go to Haneda. Oh, that's Skyfree approaching. You missed Tokyo Tower. Where's Tokyo Tower then? Completely disoriented. I can't see any other tower I know. Unless it's just not rendering for some reason, that's odd. Keep an eye out for another tower. Oh, I see a red tower over there. Is that what we're on about? Let's go have a look. Yeah, I completely missed that. 2 Eiffel Towers, then big. Yeah, okay. It's in the sim, yeah. Is my nose on it now? Is that what we're looking for? Still, it was good to see the Skyfree Tower. I was just looking at the wrong one, that's all. Look at that. Look at the canals. All the bridges. Tons of bridges in Tokyo, actually. And then you've got a park that looks like it's pretty much right on the water. That's really cool. Oh, I see what you mean by the orange and white now, yeah. Ah, that's cool. 1958. I'm sure there's a restaurant in that one as well.
I think they've copied some places here because the bridge out where I am now looks like I'm flying over a mini version of San Francisco.
Oh, does it? That tower's cool. Oh, that is really neat. Oh, that was worth it. That was well worth it. Look at that. That's detailed, actually. All right. Oh, thanks, Nighthawk. Think you put me on the right course. I'm sure. Try not to hit any buildings on the way out. And that looks like our airport coming up, is it?
Yes, it is, yep.
Cool. So I'll drop the props up, throttle down. Flaps in. Gear up. See what looks like a very big train station down there as well. Boost pumps on. Look for you, Stu. Okay, U-boat. Cool. Where's Stu? Anyone see Stu? Don't see you yet. Steering off course here. Hangar Studios, I'm now a cool kid. Oh, you're probably close to my age, Hangar Studios, I imagine. Or you'll be a Generation Xer like myself, likely. Here we go. Airport in sight. This looks handcrafted, actually, this Nvidia. Hangar Stu says, I subscribed. Thank you very much, sir. And you definitely... you're definitely the F around and find that generation. Yeah. Well, someone asked me what I do for work. So, I said, broadly speaking, I work in IT. Well, there's Stu. I see you, Stu. I see you now. I said, broadly speaking, I work in IT. And they say, oh, right, what do you do in IT? Are you like a developer or a network guy? Or I'm like, nah, none of that. I said, I tell people what to do, and when they don't do it, I shout at them until they do it. That's about the extent of my my career at the moment. But yeah, there's younger, more clever people who can do things far quicker and better than I can. So that's why I like Flight Simulator. It makes me feel like I still have some sort of technical skill at doing something.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. Bleed off the speed a bit. Just coming a little bit hot. I want to get that down to about 70 knots. Just as we're cresting at 70, we can just edge it down. There we go. Wait, minus 130? Take that. I'll take that. Now we just need a turn off here somewhere. This one coming up. A little bit of braking. High speed exit. There you go. I think we'll pick a nice little parking area in front of the terminal here. But that was a really good flight. We saw some cool stuff today, Dark. Thank you so much for the flight plan.
No problem.
Hangar Stu says, my sons are that way, but I am now officially published for Microsoft. Very cool. They have toned it down a bit. They don't even try any simulator unless you consider a zombie killing game. Yeah, I know. Well, it's one of the reasons I got my my daughter, who's 15 now. I got her started when she was really young. And we don't do that often, but sometimes if she's sitting around on a Sunday afternoon, I'll say, you want to do a flight, and she's usually up for it, so she does enjoy it. But it's not obviously the focus of her life right now, and why would it be? Oh, here's some sort of jet around. There's Dark going past. There's some stands just on the inside here, so I'll go pick up on one of those. Yeah, I mean, my son, on the other hand, he's about 11 now. He doesn't have any interest in Flight Simulator, apart from goofing around in it, and I kind of get fed up with that because, if I'm not saying I'm the most serious simmer in the world, but you still want to kind of do things with a purpose of trying to fly the airplane somewhat properly, not doing the Swiss O2 kind of move with flying things into hills and that kind of thing. So But he's more into the kind of shooter stuff. I'm trying to not expose him too much to that because I don't think that that's a healthy thing. And Hangar Studio says, yeah, I hear you. Mine are in college now. Very good. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. Well, we had kids late though. I didn't have kids till my 30s. But the youngest is into esports and all that. All right. I told him he needs to expand his circle. Yeah, absolutely. And they're all rolling in now. Getting run over by Nighthawk, I think. Dark, you can come up the rear there. I'll stop right here. Brakes on. Oop. His lights off.
Oh, hang on, we can't wait. We've got to wait for Stu. He's coming.
Is he coming? Oh, there he is. Let's see, he's in a 182. He's coming in hot. At least you made it to the party, Stu. Great to see you. Check that plane. Hit me up on Discord, Willy. Yeah, I absolutely will. And add me. Feel free to send a DM to me, Hanger. You should see my my tag in the Discord there. We'll keep in touch, and you know, if we can do anything to promote you, let us know. Great fight, nice stream. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it. And you know, it's always great when we're joined by friends. A big thank you to Nighthawk, Stu, and of course you, Dark Fury. Thank you for being on Vox today. It's been a lovely journey, and very much appreciate the company, sir.
Very kind. I'll wait at me when I can.
And with that, I am going to get ready to take my son to judo. Dan says, thanks, Willy. Great stream as always, my friend. Thank you very much, Dan. Always great to have your support and for your donation as well today, which was very unexpected. It kind of broke up a quiet moment there in a positive way. So thank you very much. Do join our Discord. Do subscribe if you're watching in the background, and please do hit us a like. It really helps the stream. We'll see you next week on Saturday. Big shout out to Brett as well. Thanks for the entertainment. Willy and crew, absolutely. Thank you very much, Brett. Always great to have you along. Anybody else we haven't mentioned? Like I said, Stu, yep, Digital Flight Deck drifting early. Haven't mentioned your name. I still love you to bits, and we'll see you next week right here on Positive Rate. Take care, folks.